don't even know where to begin with explaining this, because if you haven't been watching my Twitch streams this week, you are going to think that I am absolutely ridiculous. And honestly, maybe if you have seen the streams, you still think I'm ridiculous for this. But I have this shark hand puppet, and I made a Sims challenge based off of him. This is Seymour, and he's kind of like the mascot of my charity fundraiser on Twitch. I've got a couple fun things that I use on my stream as tools to fundraise, like this button that I press when we hit milestones. I have this cardboard cutout of Rick Astley. Maybe I'll just leave him. Oh. And I also have this shark that I use to threaten people into donating. I think that's maybe the best that I can do to explain that. So here's the plan. Seymour made us a shell challenge to attempt. And if you've never seen one of these before, a shell challenge is where you have like a box of a building, a shell of a building, if you will, and you have to take this and try and turn it into something. You've got pretty much free reign. You can rotate it, you can make the walls taller, you can put it on a different lot. You can obviously add things like platforms and foundations and balconies and all that stuff. But the whole concept is that the shell of the building, so all of the existing walls, have to stay there. And from this gallery view, this one doesn't seem that bad, but it's got some diagonals, it's got some weird bump outs. The roof is gonna be extremely difficult to finish. This is a quick overview of what the shell actually looks like in game, and we're gonna try to take this and turn it into something good. If you'd like to try this for yourself, I've got it on my gallery, and you can download this, make it into something, and then post the finished version on the hashtag Simsie Shark Shell. I'm gonna do a whole stream where I tour people's builds on the 21st. And I'm gonna put some more info about the rules of the challenge and kind of how this works down below if you want to go and read them. But we have a massive shell to finish, so I'm gonna go ahead and dive straight into the game and show you what I built. This one actually took me 2 full days to finish. It was quite the process trying to figure out this build. I said that Seymour made the shell, but actually I made the shell because Seymour is a hand puppet. He doesn't know how to play The Sims. And I deeply regret most of the choices that I made when I was building this shell. I don't know what I was thinking. This whole thing was like complete and total chaos. The walls are just in such weird places. It was so difficult to figure out where to put the roof and how to put all the pieces together. And I guess that's the point of a shell challenge. A shell is kind of like a puzzle in that way. It takes a lot of effort to figure out how to best do this. What you're seeing right now is actually my 3rd attempt. I didn't even include the first parts because I bulldozed the lot and started over. This is a really different way of playing The Sims because normally in a build, if things aren't working, you just like adjust the shape, make it fit the roof a little bit better. But in this case, we're not allowed to do that. So we have to puzzle it in with the walls that are already there, and it's way harder than it looks. I started building this in Tartosa, so we're playing in the world that comes with the wedding pack, and for that, honestly, I apologize. But it's kind of a nice lot. This is the empty 30 by 30 lot. It's kind of like up in the top right corner of Tartosa. This is like a prime location too, because it's on the corner, so it's got ocean views from 2 sides, and it's got a mountain behind it. So this is like one of the most beautiful lots in the game. I always kind of forget about this one. In the past, I've used this one a lot to make community lots. I've put like restaurants and stuff here, but this is a really nice place to build a house. So once I decided on Tartosa, that made it a little bit easier to figure out what the outside should look like, because I kind of use that as like a starting point for style. So this place kind of has a slightly Mediterranean vibe to it. I ended up rotating it again, so the side that I had started with ends up being the right side, and I used that as like the side that faces the backyard. So this lot kind of has a backyard on the side of the house instead. I guess it's not a backyard, it's a side yard. But all that effort that I put on the roof just then, yeah, it's not the front. This is the front. I also tried to put in a little bit of a foundation. I was thinking that it might be nice to have some sort of balcony or like a porch space right here. I think that having a porch really helps to even out the shape of the roof as well. That's kind of a pro tip with the shell challenges. When in doubt, add some porches, because you can like extend out the building and make the roof a little bit more even that way. I should probably walk you through what kind of things are fair game as we're doing this, because you might have seen me add in a half wall and like panicked. So with my shell challenges, at least, I don't know what rules other people do when they host shell challenges, but with mine, I let pretty much anything go. Everything is pretty much fine except for full walls. So when you're doing a shell challenge like this, you're allowed to add half walls, you can add fences, trusses, you can add platforms, you can have like foundations and floor pieces to make balconies. Obviously, roofs are fine, windows are fine. The only thing that you can't do is add a full wall onto the building, because that I think changes the shell. I sort of think of half walls as being more similar to fences, so I let half walls be allowed. And you might see that I actually built a custom chimney on the side of the building using half walls. And what I did was get a half wall that's like just about the height of a full wall. It's not quite a full wall, but it's just about the height. And I stacked two of them together, and then I put like a roof trim in between, so it kind of covers the hole. You can still see the hole in between the two half walls if you look closely, but from afar, it looks like it's one full wall. So I was trying to do some little tricks like that to make it work. I didn't do this here in this shell, but one of the other things that I let people do that's like maybe a little bit questionable, but I think is fine, is I think that you're allowed to add walls as long as they're not touching the building. So to give an example, if you made like a detached garage and you built a building next to the shell, it's not touching the shell, so the shell is still the same, and I think that's fair game. Really, the only rule is that the existing walls can't change. We host these shell challenges over on my Twitch channel a lot. I really like the community building that it gives because we're all kind of working on the same thing, and there's just something so cool about like thousands of people all having the same starting point, but it turning into a million different things. A lot of people in my chat were talking about building an aquarium for Seymour. You'll see modern houses, you'll see alien houses, you'll see museums. Like everybody has the same starting point, but it turns into completely different builds. And I just think that is so cool. I really love getting to do these shell challenges. So if you want to participate, again, I've got the information linked down below. There's not like a prize. It's just for fun. It's just like a fun little thing to do on the weekend or something. But if you like building, you might find this to be kind of a fun challenge. If you don't like building, it might make you cry. I'm warning you, the roof is way worse than it looks. I've been plugging my Twitch channel a lot here in the beginning of the video. I swear I'll stop, but I have one more thing to say. For the entire month of May, we're doing a huge fundraiser for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. I do this every year for the whole month of May. It's actually my 5th annual fundraiser. And as of recording this, we've raised $167,000 in just a week. It's been really fun, and I have a ton of special streams planned for the rest of the month. I usually stream 6 days a week. I don't normally stream on Sundays, but for May, I stream on Sundays too, and we have so much stuff going on. Next weekend, I'm doing a 24-hour stream, leaving my Sims game unpaused overnight and just like seeing what's gonna happen. I am this close to finishing the 100 baby challenge, so we've got that coming up too. And actually earlier this week, I got a chance to fly up to Memphis and visit St. Jude in person and stream from the hospital. It was a real quick turnaround. I like streamed on Sunday morning, then took an evening flight to Memphis, streamed in Memphis on Monday, and then flew home on Tuesday morning and streamed again when I got home. It's been busy. I've been like a content machine this month because I've been streaming so much and also making videos every day, but we're getting through it and it's worth it. It's fun. But it was really special to get to visit the hospital. My parents got to come, and so we got to have a tour of the hospital, and then we did a stream from their studio because they film like interviews and stuff to like put up like commercials with patients and all those sorts of things. So they have a whole studio, they have cameras, they've got like lights and stuff, and we did the stream from there. And I made this Jeopardy game for my parents to try, and it was kind of cool because last year I did the same thing, but like we used whiteboards and a PowerPoint, and they just sat in my room with me. But this time we got to use like a TV screen with the game up on the TV. We had a proper scoreboard because there was somebody helping me keep score. The production quality of this was something that I could not personally achieve by myself, just like in this room. So I'm gonna make a YouTube video about that probably in like a week or so. It's gonna take a while to cut it down because it was a lot, but I'll make a YouTube video about that so you can see it. But anyway, I'll stop going on and on. My Twitch is linked down below. And let me walk you through what's happening in the build now, because the floor plan kind of came together well, surprisingly well. This is the point of the video where I was like, you know what? This is almost going a little bit too well. Like, why does this feel so easy? And then as soon as I said that, my game crashed. So I'll point out when that happened. But right now we're trying to fix some roof clipping. We're going through and trying to organize the floor plan. Downstairs, there's like the full living, kitchen, dining room areas. It's all kind of one open space. And then we also have a primary bedroom downstairs. And then upstairs, we managed to fit 3 extra bedrooms. So it's kind of a big house. I'm pretty sure it's 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, but I always forget how many bathrooms I put. So we'll find out. I think it's 4. The bathrooms are just really unimportant to me in my builds. I usually cut out the footage of me making them. In my defense, if I didn't, the builds would be like an hour long. long. So I try to cut out things like the bathroom or like a boring hallway just to save a little bit on time in the speed build. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by how well it felt like the floor plan came together, because in my experience with shell challenges, the floor plan and the roof are always the two most difficult aspects. And beyond that, like placing stairs is usually really hard in these shell challenges, just because you get stuck with what you have and you can't like move anything or make any adjustments, especially if there's a basement. Oh my goodness. Adding stairs into a basement in a shell challenge is so hard. Trust me, I know from experience. I just did a shell that had a basement like 2 weeks ago. I made a shell shaped like a llama recently, and now we're doing this shark thing. At least it's not shaped like a shark. This one is more like the shark is threatening you if you don't build it. It's not like a literal shark shape, although I did consider doing that. It seemed weird. The tail and the fins, it was too many diagonals and it was kind of pointy, so I decided against it. But if you really want to see it, we can do a build shape like a shark. I'm not opposed to trying it. Now at this point, we're going through and trying to pick out some landscaping. I made this place very lush, but like with greenery. Most of the landscaping is just bushes. I normally put a lot more flowers than this, but I was kind of into the concept of having a lot of lush greenery and like palm trees, but I do have flower boxes on the house. We have some like pretty flower boxes floating there. And this is where the crash starts. Oh my gosh. So at this point, I started trying to put in a pool and then it wasn't letting me. It was like, you can't place a pool here. And I was like, now that doesn't make any sense. And then I got scared my game was gonna crash. So I tried to save the game and then my game did crash. I saved it and it didn't work. It never stopped saving. So I had to like forcibly close The Sims 4 and then come back. But miraculously, somehow the game actually did save. I was worried that it hadn't finished saving, so it wasn't gonna keep any of our progress, and I hadn't saved in ages. It had been like an hour since I had last saved in real life. But when I came back to the game, the save was there. So it must have finished saving and then glitched out and just never stopped. But at least our progress was still there. So that's all we can ask for. That's all we can hope for. And we didn't lose anything. I think if we had lost progress, I probably would have given up. I think that like if it had all been gone, it would have taken me a long time to pick this build back up again. I think you can relate to that, but you know when you're like really excited about something and you've been working on it and it's going really well, and then you lose all your progress and you're like, oh, you know what? I don't really want to play this right now. You need to wait for the right moment to like feel okay enough to pick it back up again. But thankfully it was fine. And I was really laughing at myself for like literally just a minute ago, having been like, you know, things are going too well here because the floor plan was easy, and then the game crashed. Never ever say anything like that when you're playing The Sims 4, because you will speak something bad into existence by accident. We're gonna move on now from landscaping and try to paint the house. And this part was really hard for me. I was worried about it looking kind of McMansion-y and like almost a little bit too much like an Olive Garden. I put a bunch of stone accents because I really liked the color of the stone, but I felt like I put so much of it that it was too much. So hopefully you don't hate it. When I look at this, I'm like, ooh, I don't know if it's the best, but I felt like it was the best that I could do with what we had. I almost wish that it was like in a few different places or like slightly better laid out. I just felt like with the shell, I kind of did what I could. Normally I would add special bump outs that would have stone, but in this case, I kind of just had to work with it. I don't normally put stone on that many walls, so maybe that's why it felt weird to me. But anyway, we're officially moving on to the inside, saving again, just to be safe. And we're starting with the kitchen. So the kitchen is kind of right off to the left of the front door. We put a kitchen and a breakfast nook right here, and I used all of the cabinetry from the rent pack because I felt like it matched perfectly with the wood and the pretty stone countertop. It kind of has this cute U shape to it. And then I was thinking about using some of the Dream Home Decorator stovetops because I realized I used to be so excited when Dream Home Decorator first came out, and I put those things everywhere because in that pack we have a separate stove and oven, so you can kind of customize the placement of them. And when we first got it, I was like dying for it, and then I just stopped using it altogether. So I was like, no, in this house I am putting the stovetops separately. So we have this nice stovetop in the island right there. We've got a fridge and an oven and everything. And then in that small nook space you can see in front of it, that's where the breakfast nook goes. I did also put some bar stools in here, and I kind of struggled with color scheme. It took me a while to figure out what I wanted. I'll warn you, the whole place is very beige. It's kind of like shades of brown and red in here, which isn't always my vibe. I feel like, I don't know, I tend to like things to be brighter when I'm building in The Sims, but I think that this kind of fits the style of the house. It's very like 2000s Tuscan kitchen sort of energy. you know, when that was the big trend and everything was beige. That's kind of what this has, but like maybe slightly more updated than that. I'm pretty sure that because I have that giant plant on the breakfast table, by the way, I don't think it's functional. I do that a lot where I put in a breakfast table and then put a giant plant and your Sims can't actually use the table, but I do it on purpose because I'd rather they eat at the dining table. This house has a separate formal dining room, so if they're gonna eat at a table, go into the dining room. I built a whole thing for you. She says as the person who literally never eats at the table at all. In my house, I only eat on the couch. Either on the couch or at my desk is where I usually eat. I've said this before, but I pretty much only use my dining table as like a desk when I'm downstairs, especially right now. Because when I do these charity fundraisers on Twitch, and I do a lot of charity streaming on Twitch, but especially in May because it's for the whole month, I have like incentives. So if you donate a certain amount, I'll send you a card and like some stickers thanking you for donating and stuff. Well, I end up sending out like hundreds of cards, if not like probably close to 1,000 cards this year. So I have like a whole spread on the dining table of my envelopes, of the cards that I'm signing, of all the stickers. And I'm sitting there like writing all my addresses and stuff. Normally for the whole month of May, I just leave all that stuff out because I'm using it every single night after I get off stream. But this year I can't leave it out. I have to put it away every day because I have kittens and my kittens are paper shredders. This is kind of a new experience for me because I have another cat who I've had for years and she's never been a paper shredder. None of my family's other cats have ever been paper shredders. Snap is almost 16, so she's not really in chaos mode most of the time. She kind of just like sleeps. Well, these kittens, they will like pick up pieces of mail if they find one. They'll completely tear it apart. Cardboard, they tear it apart. So all of my letters that I am sending out to people to thank them for their donation, if the kittens had access to these, they would be ripped to shreds, literally. So I have to like hide them from the cat so they can't get into them. They haven't gotten to anything actually important yet, although they did get to one of my envelopes that I was gonna send out for my wedding invitations. That was my own fault, and it was a testing envelope because I bought like an embosser to put my initials on, well, not just mine, me and Dan's initials on the wedding invitations. So I had tested it on one of the envelopes and then left to go to the farmer's market. Well, when I came back, the envelope was no more. Let's just say that. I should have known, but I just don't think about it. Like it's so easy to just be like, okay, let's head out and like leave the thing that you're working on the table. You cannot leave things on the table in this house anymore. Thankfully, they don't get into like toilet paper or anything. It's literally just mail. So like if you leave out an envelope by accident or like a bill by accident, that's what gets shredded. And fingers crossed they never discover toilet paper because that would be bad. I have 2 kittens and my parents adopted their mom and the other kitten because if you missed it, we found kittens in a sewer like last year. It's been a weird time. Describing that sounds so ridiculous, but basically my family has the other baby and the mom, and the other baby is also a paper shredder, and they learned the hard way about paper towels. You cannot leave paper towels out in the house either. I don't do that anyway because I keep them underneath the sink. I try not to use paper towels. I'm trying to like lessen waste, so I try to use washable ones, but I do still have some just in case, and the kittens thankfully have not gotten into those. I'd be curious to know in the comments if you have cats that are paper shredders too, or just what kind of chaos cats do you have? What do they get into? Again, this has been a really new thing for me to adjust to because I was used to Snap, who can't really hear anything anymore. She can't jump on the counter anymore. She kind of just hangs out. She's a perfect angel cat who doesn't do anything wrong. But now I have these kittens and they are a very different experience. I'm glad they can't open like doors or drawers or anything. I've heard some people talk about their cats getting into their cabinets or like getting into doors, getting into drawers. One of my parents' cats can open drawers and can open like the bedroom doors. This is actually a really funny story. My parents had to get new door handles for like me and my sister's bedrooms because when they first brought home the kitten and their mom, we waited until the kittens were like 16 weeks old, but then they moved to my parents' house, the other 2, and my parents have dogs and another cat. So like the best way to introduce pets is to like keep them between closed doors and like do a slow introductory process of like feeding them behind doors and like trying to get them used to sense through a door first. So they kept the kittens in my bedroom at my parents' house for like a couple of weeks. It's technically my mom's office now, but it's my bedroom, okay? It's my childhood bedroom. And we used to have a door handle on there, like the kind where you press it down to open it. Well, their other cat, Lemon, can open those doors He's quite big, so he's tall enough to like reach up and pull the handle down. So he does this thing where he like reaches up, pulls down, and then like throws his body at the door to use his body weight to push it open. Well, we obviously couldn't have him doing that when the kittens were first home because they can't have him like breaking into the room. So my dad replaced the door handle with a doorknob because he can't turn a doorknob. He could press the handle down, but he can't turn a doorknob. So they have a new doorknob now on my bedroom door. He can also get into drawers, which is kind of a problem. You know, like the IKEA Alex drawers, how the handle is like a cutout in the drawer? That's bad because he can stick his paw in there. So he's a real chaos cat. My cats can't do that. Shrimp, he can't even like open a door when it's cracked. Snap, if the door is cracked, she'll push it open or like put her paw under it and pull it towards her. She can't use a doorknob or a door handle, but she can use a door when it's like not fully closed. Shrimp is completely clueless. He has no idea what he's doing. It's usually the bathroom door, but he sits there like screaming, putting his paw under it, trying to get me to open it for him. So I'll usually like open it and crack the bathroom door, but then he still just sticks his paw under it and screams, or he'll like hit the door frame, like trying to get it to open by hitting the door frame. He won't just like push the door. It doesn't take much, just a slight push, Shrimp. You could even use your head to like poke through like Snap does, but no, he can't figure it out. Anyway, I've been like just talking about cats for this whole video. I haven't even talked about the build a single time. Okay, so we're working on the backyard a little bit more now. I'm trying to add in some extra backyard furniture. You can see I'm putting in like some really cute lounge chairs. We've got this pergola with a dining table underneath it. The pergola is nice, but it does remind me of when my game crashed. So I'm not like super pleased about it. Just because that pergola was the last thing I placed before we had that incident earlier with the saving glitch. But we're doing the primary bedroom now. So this primary bedroom is downstairs. I did use the same rug in here that I have in the living room. I don't know if that's weird. I think it's pretty weird, but I feel like it's worth it just because it looks so good. You can see what I mean by that kind of like brown and beige and red color scheme. It's all based around that rug. And then I used the Modern Luxe Kit curtains, but I combined them with the Desert Luxe Kit curtain rods. So I tried to make my own custom curtains that way by pairing them together. I really like how it looks in here. I think it's kind of fancy. I did think this bedroom was kind of a weird shape because it's sort of big and L-shaped, so I struggled with like what kind of furniture to put in there. It's mostly just the bed, but we have like some chairs and some dressers and some accents in that way. I did put a little like accent wall with some stone in this room, but I had a hard time with this one. I think this was probably the hardest room in the whole house for me to furnish, which feels kind of silly to say because it's just a bedroom, but I wasn't like loving how this one looked. Also, if you're seeing a lot of moments where the game kind of like pauses, where I'm not doing anything and it's going quite slow, that's because this is obviously recorded during one of my charity streams, and it's kind of chaotic, and I like to stop to read donations. So this wasn't like my quickest build, okay? It was slow. I was not being a very effective builder. It's not the best for like YouTube footage, but I think that it's still fun, so it's still worth showing to you. We've moved upstairs now, and we're gonna furnish those last 3 bedrooms. So we have, in my mind, 2 teens bedrooms and 1 kid's bedroom. You could obviously use it for anything, but that's kind of who I was picturing living here. This first one was probably the hardest of the 3, just because it's also kind of big. I think I typically thrive when I'm making smaller houses and smaller bedrooms because I really like how close they are and how like cozy and cluttered they can be. So when I have these big bedrooms, I think I kind of struggle to fill them in. I know it sounds weird to be like, oh, I prefer a smaller bedroom, but like genuinely, I prefer the rooms to be smaller. I think it's just nice when you have a nice, cozy, small room. The floor plan just didn't really work out that way because of how big it is. I did try and do a couple things to make it a little bit nicer. Like I made a fake closet. You can see I built this bump out and then I put a door on it. In there, I just put like some clothes hanging up on the wall, and we have a desk next to it. But I don't normally put closets in my Sims builds. It's kind of funny because when Dream Home Decorator first came out, I was like, oh my god, this is life-changing. I'm gonna use these clothing racks all the time. I never use them. I just feel like I'm typically more of a practical builder in The Sims. I usually think more about like, what do you actually need in the game, and then base my builds around that. I know a lot of people like to build for realism, and in that case, you would probably put closets in your rooms more often, but there's just no need for them in The Sims. They don't even work like a dresser. Like those ones are base game that I used in there. They're just a decoration. You can't even click on them. So I I find it hard to bring myself to put them in places most of the time, but I did think that it worked specifically in here, so I used it. I know there's been a lot going on and I haven't been explaining the build very much, so I promise at the end of the video, I'll go in and give you a tour and like point out everything. I'll show you around the place because there's just been a lot to take in. But as far as other things in this room goes, I was trying to add like a couple extra skill building items, so I put things like a guitar, I've got like some little chairs, we have a mirror and like a pride flag. I didn't really know how to furnish the rest of the walls. I really, like I said, I really struggled here. This was not my finest moment. As far as other things in this room go, I was trying to add in a few other skill building items. So I put like a guitar. I even got a TV to put on a shelf in front of the bed. I've got a cute egg chair. We have the pride flag. And I think that all those things combined helped to fill in the rest of the space. I do think that this TV is kind of weird. I put a little penguin TV on a shelf in front of the bed. I realized that I never used that penguin TV and it kind of worked really nicely just to put it on a shelf right there. I could see that happening in real life, so I used that one. And now this room next door is meant to be a kid's room. They actually share a bathroom. They have what's called a Jack and Jill bathroom. I don't know why people call it that, but it means that there's like a door from each room. So the bathroom's in between them and they each have a door. So it's kind of like a shared ensuite almost. In hindsight, I probably should have had like the two teens share a bathroom, but this is just how it worked out. So I used some kind of chaotic colors in this room. I originally thought about using the polka dot rug from the backyard stuff pack, but I actually thought that I used that rug too much recently, which sounds really silly to say because it's like a polka dot rug, but I feel like I've been using it too much. So I settled instead for the pastel pop kit strawberry wallpaper, and I found this debug bed. It's one of the ones that you can craft with Eco Lifestyle. It has like the perfect color swatch that matches the greenery on the walls of this strawberry wallpaper. So I put that there. I added in some high school years curtains. That's actually a nifty knitting rug that's also debug. They've got some toys in here. I think that this would be my actual dream room. I would pick this room. I don't know if you've seen, but my friend Jessie, her name is Plumbella on YouTube. She's the one who helped them design the pastel pop kit, and she actually painted her office walls to have a mural that looks like this wallpaper. I think she is so talented. Like, how cool is that? So if you don't follow her, her name is Plumbella on YouTube. You should go and subscribe. She makes some really cool videos, but I'm kind of jealous that she painted her room like this because it looks really cool. I've been thinking about trying to get wallpaper in this room in real life. The only problem is that I have horribly textured walls. Like, not just orange peel. I have like orange peel to the extreme textured walls in this room. So to get wallpaper, it would be like a whole process because the walls aren't smooth. So I haven't done it. I don't even think that peel and stick would work. I feel like peel and stick wouldn't even like stick to the walls that are like this. I kind of hate them. It's so common in Florida. Like, all of our walls look like this, but the walls in this house are more textured than I'm used to. Like, my parents' house never had walls this bad. They had like a slighter orange peel texture. But anyway, this is the last bedroom in the house, and this one is also kind of chaotic. I used the tiger wallpaper, and I cannot even remember when I last used this one, but I paired it with the base game blue polka dot rug, and honestly, I think it kind of looks good. We have this like yellow and blue color scheme going. I need to remember to use this wallpaper more often. This one is from the Decor to the Max kit, if you have that one. That pack has a couple of cute things. It doesn't have that many things that I use that often, but it does have some kind of funky, like wild wallpapers. So if you like wallpaper, you might enjoy that kit. Also in this room, I added in a keyboard. So both of the Sims in this house, I think, are kind of musical. I always forget about that keyboard item, but it's kind of a fun little touch. So I added that one in here. And with that, we are pretty much done with the entire build. So what I want to do now is go and pop back into the game and show you a tour of the finished product. Just to remind you, this is what that original shell looked like. This is what we had to work with, and we could not change any of these existing walls. And I built this in Tartosa. That's the world that comes with the wedding pack, and it's up here on this lot, which is conveniently exactly behind where my face cam goes. If you're looking for my build on the gallery, it's called the Shark Shell Challenge, and you can see, look at this gallery photo. The mountains behind this are so pretty. This lot, I'm telling you, is one of the best ones in the game. It does use like 1 million packs, an embarrassing number of packs, and it's like 120,000 simoleons. So this is what it looks like from the outside. I added in a couple little details in the front, like this fountain. I lined this walkway with these little debug stones. I thought it kind of helped to make it look a bit more finished. On the front porch, I put a couple things like some extra plants. We've got a little planter right here and a doormat. I also added in these little stones. These are just base game. They're in the clutter category, believe it or not. It's called a gathering of garden stones. I tried to put those to add in something. I don't know if it's weird. I don't know. I was trying something. In the backyard, I really like this patio space. space. So we have a huge pool, we've got the lounge chairs, we have the table and grill underneath this pergola, but I also put these pretty string lights, and I used a column because I was trying to hide their ugly column, and I put a bigger one that's a little bit prettier. We also obviously have a shark pond because it is Seymour's shell, so I put this back here. This is from Get Famous. It's kind of weird. It's kind of a random addition, but again, shark shell. So I did what I had to do. And there's also a little kids playground equipment set up back here. Kind of around the back, this is what all of the lighting and windows and stuff look like. This is that fake chimney that I was telling you about, and I can delete this trim so you can see. It's two half walls stacked together, so it looks kind of weird, but I put the trim there so that you can't really tell. But if you look close, there's a gap there because it's just a half wall. In a normal build, I'd put a full wall there, but I put the half wall there because I can't do that today in this shell. You can kind of see a little bit more what it looks like. I just didn't love this blank wall. I felt like it needed something else. That's why I put the chimney on there. Oh, I also didn't love this blank wall, so I put some trellises on it to try and cover that up too. I really hate this side of the house. I don't love this part of the building either, but I tried my best to add in enough stuff to make it look finished. And then when you come inside, this is kind of a top-down overview of the floor plan. You walk in right here into this front entryway, and then to the left, we have the kitchen. On this side, we've got some lovely clutter in here, plus a small breakfast nook. And then to the right, you have the living room. And I think this is my favorite part of the house. I really like how this room turned out. I put this like little table that looks kind of like a bench behind the sofa. We've got some pretty curtains, pretty plants. I love this huge plant right there too. And then if you come a little bit further down, this is like the formal dining room. So you can access the back porch from here through this door. We also have this cute little bar area. This is the new bar from the party kit, believe it or not, but it fits really well right there. I also put like some Get Famous art and some candles. We have the huge table, of course. I even put the new record player in because it kind of fit nicely there. This is the downstairs bathroom that's also a laundry room. So we have a washer and dryer plus like a toilet and a sink in here. I kind of wish that I had a separate laundry and separate toilet room because I felt like the house was kind of fancy. I'd rather have an extra bathroom, but this is kind of just what fit with the weird diagonals. So I did what I could. Further down this way, this is that primary bedroom. You can see how it feels kind of weird and empty over here, but I guess that's nice. I just prefer to have smaller rooms. So this feels really empty to me, but they have an ensuite bathroom. Extremely weird shape, but I did manage to fit in a corner tub in here. So we've got this kind of cute bathroom layout. The stairs are kind of right in the middle of the house, and if you come up them, we've got a small hallway right here, and that hallway takes you to all the bedrooms. So this first one right here is that blue and yellow bedroom that we were talking about a second ago. I put a couple fun things like this blue brick wall. I've got a nice tapestry. I used these curtains in the room as well. They have a little desk in the corner. They do have a fish. Please, in real life, don't keep your fish in bowls. It's not safe for them. It's not okay. They need proper like filtration and enough space. It's very common to have fish bowls. It's not okay. But in the Sims, we have a fish bowl. So they've got one there. There is a very small hall bathroom right here for them to access. And then we have the last two bedrooms. So this is that huge pink one with their closet. This is kind of what this room looks like. They've got a couple little clutter items. They have a desk and like a gaming PC. They've got a little archway into their closet. It's kind of a weird layout with this like entry into the room, but I sort of liked it. So we've got that. This is the Jack and Jill bathroom that they share with their siblings, so you can both access the bathroom from here. And then this is that last kids room with the kind of funky strawberry color scheme. And that, my friends, is the fully finished build. Finally, we did it. So I hope that you enjoyed this one. If you want to go on the gallery and download it, again, my name is just lilsimsie and it's the Shark Shell Challenge. We're gonna do tours of these builds on my Twitch stream on the 21st. I literally bought a shark costume for this. Like, I am ready for the shark shell tours, but it's kind of fun to see what people have built because you can just see from this hashtag already, there are so many different styles. It's so cool. Look, there's a casino for the card shark, jungle academia. I mean, there's so many different builds, and I really love the display of creativity from the community with these. Don't feel like you have to play, but if you want to make one, that's how you do it. And on that note, I'm gonna end this video right here. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow. Okay? Bye, everybody. Oh my god, I just got jump scared by the stupid Rick Astley cardboard cutout behind me. I looked behind me and saw a man's face. It terrified me. How did that get me? He's been there for weeks.